7:01, I will call the meeting to order. It is Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. Roll call. Flores.
Here.
Gonzalez. Here.
Yes, thank you.
Zane.
Here.
Jost. Here. Mason. Here. Bogowski. Here. Pelletier. Here. All right, thank you. So, next public comments, agenda items only. It's us today. Okay, so instead of unfinished business, executive director search, Alex and Jim did inform us that we don't not need to go into executive session, but since we'll be talking about you, then we'll probably exit.
I'm leaving.
Yes.
You can stay, but it's gonna be hurtful and a lot of tears.
I may
and
cry.
You may cry a little bit.
Yeah. I'll just be in my office.
Okay. Yeah, we'll let you know.
You'll be wondering.
Are we recording?
The manager's already talking about me earlier.
Turned it off. Are we recording or not recording?
Yes.
We are recording.
It's recording.
Oh, yeah, it's, yeah.
Yeah, so the way that we'll frame it, we're not gonna get personal or, that kind of thing, which will be kind of general, broad statements. So from you guys, again, as you're recording things, keep it at that level, and then we don't have, saves you guys from going into a closed session and having to look at minutes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Jim Deiters, I'm the Deputy Director at the Joliet Library, and I'm half of Deiters and Todd.
I'm Alex Todd. I'm from the Prospect Heights Public Library District, so not too far from you guys. Welcome to CCS, a couple years late, but we're glad to have you with us. Yeah, we are Deiters and Todd. We have been around since 2019, which is getting further and further in the past. You guys are our 25th director search. All have been successful, so this is what we do, and one of the things that I love about this job is the good candidates that we find. This is going to be the best, hardest decision you guys have to make, because the finalists that we find, actually the four to six folks that we find for you guys to interview, and then you're identifying the two finalists, you're going to want to hire them both. I'm telling you that now, because that's what happens. And I love seeing you squirm. So it's going to be, we're looking forward to that. So that's what we do. We don't do a straw man. We don't go, we want Ileana to be the director, so we're going to bring Tamara and Kim up because they're slugs and make her shine. No, it's all going to be good people. And so that's what we pride ourselves on, and that's what we have done. The process that we're starting tonight is going to take about 4 months. Pam's retiring at the end of March, and you'll have the new director identified in the middle to late February, and then they'll have some transition time to come on board. So right when Pam's leaving, the new person's starting, and it's going to be a nice seamless transition. The staff is involved in the process tonight. Before now, we talked with the management team this evening. We're also going to send out a questionnaire, an online questionnaire for the rest of the staff to participate. That's a simple survey. It's just designed to kind of get them to talk and encourage them to free flow their thoughts about the library. We don't go, what do you think about Pam? Because anytime you ask for anonymous input, you get that. So no, it's like, what do you like about the library? What are your concerns about the library, and where do you want to see the library head? So that's the basic questions for the staff. And we use all that information that we're getting from you tonight, that we got from the managers, to help us learn about Morton Grove as a community, as a library, and all that. And we use that to create the job ad. We're going to create a draft. We'll send it to Emily, and you guys will wordsmith it and make sure it's got that Morton Grove stamp of approval on it. We'll post it, and so that's one of the things that we do. We also use this information to help us compile the interview questions. We create the interview questions that everybody asks. through all the rounds of interviews, and that's just to make sure that everybody has a similar experience, right? We do ask if you have questions that you want to ask, we will incorporate those, or if we have one that's similar from our list, we have like 350, 400 interview questions based on different topics. So board relations, community relations, communications, budgeting, and all that. And so that's how we kind of prioritize what questions that we want to ask is based on what you guys are telling us tonight.
And as Alex said, I mean, we try to do the lift for you. Like, we try to create the questions for you. Again, you'll have a chance to look and give some feedback and that kind of stuff. But just want you to know that that's what we feel is our job, is to do all that work. You guys are volunteers. You're already putting in your time to support the library. So we try to do as much as we can for you, but we never want to step on your toes. So let us know if you want a little more input or that kind of thing. Because we've done this a bunch of times as Snyder and Todd, but we do this all the time with our work that we do regularly. So we'll just keep moving along and feeding you everything. So you do have to kind of say, hey, we'd like to have a little
questions at any
because
time.
we'll just keep on. But we want to have the questions prepared for you. Then you can say, yeah, let's take out number 5 and put in something about this. We want one more, where it's a scenario. If this happened on such and such a day, how would you react to it? That kind of thing. So anyway, I just always like to warn folks. Is like we'll try to do everything for you, because we want to. That's what we feel is our duty. But you can always ask us to step back a little bit, and you can give some input if you want.
And we also share the interview questions with the candidates before the interview. And that has really been a game changer for us. And actually, I do that at my library too, and it's phenomenal. The quality of the interview has gone up. The answers that we get are better because, we're asking, give us an example of, or when's the most difficult piece of information you've had to share, or what is whatever. And you actually want to know what that is. You don't want it to be the first thing that pops into their head. And so, that has really helped. And the pushback to that is like, but I want to see how they think on their feet. I want to know how they react quickly. And that's where you guys come in with follow-up questions, right? So if they talk about their proudest professional achievement is about a grant that they wrote that brought in all this money. The next question you guys can ask is, well, follow that up. Is that service still going on? How do you fund that now that the grant's expired? How do you do all these other things? And that helps them, that gives you that kind of sense of conversation. Because we do want it to be a conversation.
Well, and along those lines too is, we try, you're going to ask the same questions. They're going to have the same presentation at the end, topic, whatever. But you want the interviews to be similar, but there's always going to be, their experiences are going to lead you to different questions and down a different path. So, I mean, they don't have to be the exact same. So I feel sometimes we scare people like, you can only ask these 7 questions and do not go off the path, and, we want them to be. No, I mean, they're obviously, because they have different life experiences and professional work and stuff, it's going to vary in their answers. So. Don't feel like you can't ask follow-up questions, or like, oh, I'm intrigued by what you said. Tell me more about this. Take that path and run with it.
Yeah. So the key dates for the search tonight is the first night. We're doing this. Jim and I are going to again create the job ad. We'll send that to the board. We hope to post the job on December 22nd. That's a Monday, right? I think. Yeah, because Christmas is
Thursday.
And then the deadline is going to be January 16th, and that's where it's going to get kind of quiet. We're doing the administrative work. We're taking in the applications, and we're winnowing down, the ones who are qualified and not qualified, and all that. We do provide a monthly report to the board for the board packet. It's also written for the staff too, so hopefully you'll share that with the staff. To know what's going on. So it's not going to be dead silent, but it's going to be kind of slow. But after the 16th is when things really pick up, because we do the phone interviews on the week of January 19th. We do a phone call with pretty much anybody that's qualified. And I expect we'll have 25 applications for this job. Because this is, already people are asking, like, what's the deal with Morton Grove? When's that going to get posted in this?
And you guys are kind of in this sweet spot up here. Illinois got.
We are a sweet spot.
But if you go down by Joliet, then you head south of there, everything kind of spreads out a little bit more. But here you got library.
Yeah.
A lot of people that work in libraries in this region.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the phone interviews on the week of the 19th. The week of the 26th is, and we narrow that list of candidates down to 4 to 6 of the best. We bring them to you, so the week of the 26th, over 2 evenings, and that's one thing that you guys have to look at, is to find 2 evenings where you guys can come in and have the Zoom interviews with those 4 to 6 candidates. We do those always over Zoom, partially for logistical reasons. It's just easier to have click, someone's gone, admit someone else is in. You don't, instead of having to, walk past and up and down the stairs and, oh, I forgot my jacket, and come back in, or the traffic's bad and I'm late and this and that and the other. Zoom is good for this stage, and it gives you a chance to see the person, get a sense of them, and talk. And then at that point, you're going to narrow the candidates down to the 2 finalists, and we're looking to have the final interviews on either February 14th, Valentine's Day, yay, or the 21st. We'd like to have a backup just in case, to see which one is the most available, and for the candidates as well.
Be warned, yeah, like you guys will all come to a consensus, like, yeah, we all can be there on this date. And then the board, and then the candidates will be like, no, I can't, it's my birthday, or I'm going out of town, so.
The more people you need to schedule, the
It might not
harder
be the
it is.
21st, it might be the 28th, or,
But we'll shoot for those, and we're usually pretty good at finding it, because the folks want this job too, so they'll rearrange their schedule. If all that happens, again, 4 weeks of transition time, the new person should be ready to sit in the chair towards the end of March, right as Pam is leaving. Kind of went over that quickly. Are there any questions about the process? Yeah.
I have a couple questions, sorry. So, disclaimer, I used to do executive search, so this was all that's why I'm nodding along. I'm like, do candidates get the dates ahead of time so that they can kind of plan for themselves? So, do you tell them the board will be doing Zoom interviews the week of blah, 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 so that they can kind of, should they advance to that round?
We don't. So how it happens is during the phone interviews, they usually ask what's the process, and we go, because surprisingly, not surprisingly, boards are wonderful, but you're all also sometimes very flaky. We don't know when the dates are when we're doing these phone interviews, and so it's like we will be in touch with you by the end of the week and let you know. We're going to identify the folks. Let's see, what is the saying? Muscle memory. Jim and I are using these interviews this week to identify the candidates who are going to advance to the next round of interviews. We'll be in touch with you by the end of the week to let you know next steps. That's the process. And the same thing with the Zoom interviews. The board's doing these Zoom interviews this week. They're going to identify the 2 candidates that they're going to invite for in-person interviews. But we don't do the dates.
We don't usually name the dates.
Okay.
So I also don't want to
But I
give
don't
anybody
think
a
the
false
idea-
sense of hope.
Sure. Yeah.
On that?
No,
Yeah.
no, that makes sense. I just wasn't sure
Yeah.
if that might be beneficial for the timelines,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just kind of trying to coordinate so many different schedules.
Yep.
The other question I had was, how do we learn from the 20 to 25 that you phone screen and then kind of you bring them down to the 4 to 6?
Yeah.
How do we learn that information? Do you do a presentation to us? Is that in the monthly email check-in?
So
thing, or-
what do you mean? So we basically we send we'll send Pam and the resumes of the 4 to 6,
Okay.
and that's how you know who the 4 to 6 are.
Okay.
We keep all of the resumes in our online drive, and we're happy to share that with the board if you want to look through and see who didn't make the cut. And if you have questions about particular people, we're happy to answer that. But we don't go through, those who didn't make it, we don't spend a lot of time on.
Okay. I wasn't sure if maybe you provided like a synopsis or something from your interactions or from the conversation that you had.
Yeah.
In addition to the resume, maybe, I don't know.
No.
No?
No,
Okay.
we don't, but I think one thing that, we hopefully to glean out of, from what we're talking about tonight is kind of creating that, who we're looking for, that kind of stuff, and what, top priorities you guys are looking for in the candidates, so, but we don't do that specifically.
Once they're out of the search, we don't spend a lot of time thinking about them.
Okay.
It's Cool, we're
It sounds-
cold,
it
we're
sounds
cold
cold,
like that. Librarians with the, yeah, cold hearts. No, yeah, we do typically.
But we do it very nicely. Everybody who submits, we send them a thank you
Oh,
for your
yeah.
application. We'll be in touch. And if they don't get it, sorry, we're moving forward. You know, so we
Well,
don't
the
ghost
thing-
anybody.
And part of the,
Yeah.
that, to add on to what Alex says, libraries are a pretty small world, especially if you're in the northern half of Illinois in this quadrant, you know what I mean? So we don't wanna burn any bridges too, you know what I mean? Cause they might be a good candidate for the next thing that, or down the road or whatever, and yeah, you just don't wanna hurt any feelings, you don't wanna cause
Yeah.
any strife, cause we're still working in libraries, so
Yeah.
we don't wanna be, you know, the bad guys either, so we try to do a
Answer your
good job.
question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
So, and I'm assuming by email is fine, so we need to get you 2 dates over the week of January 26th.
Yes,
We need to get you 2 evenings,
yes.
just so everyone has time frame that you're kind of shooting for.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
So I think like 7 to 9 if you want to do 6 or 8. So these interviews are going to be about 45 minutes each.
Okay.
And so,
If you can start earlier, it's usually better,
Like
because
maybe-
otherwise we're leaking into 9:30 and you guys are probably working all day. and
Sure.
then- So if you can start earlier, it's probably better for
Okay.
your brains. 'Cause
Yeah,
you
yeah.
sit through 3 interviews, you're gonna be like.
yeah, so if we
Yeah.
do like, say we do 5 candidates, you'll do 3 on the one night, the
Right.
first night. And so that's, if you do 7:45 to 8:30 to 9:15, and then you're done. The next night you do 2, 7 to 7:45 to 8:30, and then you have a discussion about the 2 candidates, and you talk until you figure out who those are. And then still about 9:15 or so.
I'm kind of like jotting down 6-ish guys, just because I know that sometimes those conversations can.
It's a catch
go
for you
long.
guys, can you
Yeah.
be here by 6? And,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
you know
But
what I mean?
And we can discuss that,
Yeah,
so we need
so-
to get you those dates, and then.
Yeah.
So we're all here together in person and
Yes.
they're on Zoom.
Yes.
We're here with you,
Okay,
only the
so
candidates.
it's gotta be
Candidates.
Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Do we have a,
Okay.
do we get a large monitor or
Yeah.
we can request so that we're not all,
We were just hoping that they're.
You could have,
No.
like a
Oh,
projector or
project.
something.
Well, yeah, we'll figure out
that's
something.
it, okay.
But yeah, we want them on the.
We can
So-
coordinate
so
that
we're not
with
looking at
Pam.
a
I'm
study
gonna
uh,
take it from the study room, guys.
Yeah. You guys all
Yeah.
split up and then.
Yeah, but this is, I mean, these are special board meetings,
Yep,
and
yep.
so you would not be able to participate remotely unless you
Yep.
qualify under the
Yeah, yeah.
established
Yeah.
reasons
Yeah.
for it.
And then we also need to mark down February.
14th?
Just hold February 14th,
Yeah,
21st.
yeah,
kinda,
pencil in, save the dates on the,
Yeah.
on the 14th and 21st,
Yeah. I know
or if you
everyone's
know
busy,
that one
so
of
I
those
want
is
everyone
not
to-
good, then we can,
Yeah.
There goes
Really
your
push the
Valentine's
others.
Day plan.
Is
Yeah.
it during the
Yeah.
day or in the?
it's during the day, and it's all day.
All day.
There's each final interview takes about 2.5 hours. We start at 9. The first candidate is at 9:30,
Yep.
goes until a little bit before noon. Then there's lunch. The second candidate starts at 1 and goes until 3:30, and then you guys can decide how long you go. When you pick the person, you get to go home. That's the motivation
Okay,
on that. So.
okay. So what do you need from us tonight? You need, our thoughts on
Mhm.
what we want, what we're looking for, that's kind of.
Yep, and
what
that's
the-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we have some very specific things we need to know from you, but our opening stuff is just kind of general questions, top priorities, what did,
Yeah, you
Pam
want-
do well, yeah, we'll just start. What do you see for the top priorities of the incoming chosen new leader of the library, what are
The main things on
What
their
are the-
plate.
what's the big things?
Well, as you guys can relate, the library directors have to wear many hats and have many plates spinning, so, but something that really kind of, I was thinking about this, but, we are really proud of our staff here, and, we have patrons come in talking about how awesome our staff is, and, I want someone here who, can lead, will not micromanage, let them do their awesome stuff. So give them the support and confidence to build the programs that they're known to build. So I want our staff I think they've always felt supported by Pam, and that's really important to me, that they continue to feel like they have that bolster of support.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we heard that, that piece about, letting them do their work, you know, hiring the right people, we heard that, you know, the staff that feel like that's the culture you guys have already under right now is you get good people, you let them do their work, you know, microman, you know, so you're saying exactly what we heard earlier too.
Okay.
Yeah, which is good, right? Yeah, anything, is there anything else like, you know, specific? We know that you're coming into your last year of strategic plan. I think before I got here earlier,
Talk about the
you guys were
facilities
talking
plan.
about like a facilities plan. Is there anything else, like those kind of big ticket type things that you guys are working on or
Well,
thinking of doing?
We have a challenging facility in that we are an older building with lots of additions.
Right, right.
And so, the, having someone have, like, I mean, I would like the, sorry, stop me if I'm speaking for all of us, but, having a big picture of facility plans, but also, there are 12 different HVAC systems on the roof. There are, yeah, I know, because there's all this, I know, and the way that they're patched up doesn't make sense, and so you know, it'd be great to be able to do everything we want
Sure, sure.
and make it look shiny, new, and all the different things, but, no, having that reality of just, we have an old building that we are, you know, we have lovingly, you know, maintained. We redid, I don't know if you guys saw the youth services department, we redid that, we, you know, we're proud of this little building, but, the facility part is something where, finding that balance of, what we wanna do and what we can do with a realization of the amount it takes to maintain as well an older building.
And to know our community, that they would never go for like a referendum to build something new, that this is
Yeah.
what we're gonna work with.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
No, I was just thinking, when you said community, I was like, should they know Morton Grove as a community?
Yeah.
Well, to a degree.
I mean,
You wanna
and
know the
Morton-
people you're working
And
with
Morton
before.
Grove is an older village, you know, like we, a lot of our village buildings are on the old side. And we're not a big village because 20% of our footprint is forest preserve.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, now that's a draw, I think, for a lot
Sure.
of community members, you know, we have, you know, bike path and forest preserve paths, you know, right there.
Mhm.
But we don't have the tax base that say Glenview,
Right.
Glenview does, or, you know, or
Skokie.
Skokie, or that kind of thing. So,
Sure.
yeah.
Great.
But you get good, clean, fresh air.
And lots
I
of
would,
here.
I would like to make a couple points about the committee. One is Joanne's point, I think there's been a lot of turnover since 2020. It seems like the pandemic and the couple of years after, like, brought in a lot of young families. So right now, no, we couldn't build a new building, but depending on where the country and our town is headed, maybe at some point, and we will be getting a new village hall in the next 2 years, that's gonna be happening. But I think a really key thing to know about Morton Grove is that we have kids who go to several different, not just elementary schools, but different districts. The way it works here is we have 9 feeder schools, 9 feeder schools that go to 2 different high schools in Niles Township, and then we also have a portion of the village in Main Township. And that is the western part of the village. A lot of people in the western part of the village, from what I heard campaigning and talking to friends, use the Niles Library instead of the Morton, or they'll have a Morton Grove card, but they go to
Yeah.
Niles
Yeah, yeah.
Library because it's closer.
Yeah.
So understanding that element, we don't have a downtown area.
Right.
We have the forest preserve, it's a trade-off, right? And so there is, a lot of people in Morton Grove depend on like Niles or Skokie for a lot of their needs. Skokie, you know, I'm sure you know of the Skokie Library, it's a
You was just there.
huge, amazing facility. But we have but people seem to like our little
Yeah.
Yeah.
sweet spot of a library.
Some people don't want the big old, yeah.
Yeah, but just understanding that our community is split up,
Mhm.
geographically and logistically in a lot of ways.
I really wish they would fix the school district one, that drives me bananas.
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy.
But
isn't
it's,
it?
you're not alone, like Joliet has like
Yeah,
gazillion of them. It's
yeah, if you go on this side of the street, you go here, and this side of the
Yeah.
street, you go there, yeah.
Anyway,
Just to build on
a little personal.
Kim's comments, I think somebody that has a forward vision of what a library is gonna be, because, you know, the more things that we still have here that are being utilized less, that doesn't help. So somebody that has an innovative spirit, an innovative forward thinking mindset.
And I wanna bounce back on that and say, understanding and embracing technology, but also understanding the limits and traps of technology. And so finding that place of like, what should be digital, but what is important to keep physical, because the digital world has its limits.
That's often the catch for a public library, is you gotta have both. You still
Yeah.
gotta have a VCR or VHS, you still gotta have CDs, and you gotta have digital, and because everyone's got everything that plays all these different technologies, so it's tricky to figure out where you need to be.
A couple more notes about our communities that, we're somewhat unique in that you get people who grow up here and then come back and raise their kids here. My family's one of those, my husband went to Niles West and now our kids go to Niles West, and so it is, and so there's a lot of, I would say, deep-seated pride, you know, for this little community. And I think one of our strengths, is our diversity that we have in this community too, so even something, and our staff is very aware of that too. They try to embrace and support that. So even like one of our additions in the youth services renovation was a quiet room which could be used for so many different things, whether it's nursing, prayer time. Our staff really kind of make sure that our patrons feel that inclusivity.
What are the main communities that are coming into Morton Grove? Is it Hispanic, is it Asian,
Not
is it
Hispanic.
South Asian, is it, what are?
That's super interesting, because almost everywhere else it's Hispanic
Not
growth,
here.
right?
Yeah.
But it's not here, because same thing we were, asking the staff, I was like, oh, interesting, but anyway, yeah.
I don't know if you've looked at the census data, that's probably
It's a
the,
bit dated now,
That's-
but the Asian population was the
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
subgroup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was from 5 years ago,
Yeah.
6 years ago.
We have a
whatever.
Muslim community center that's not too far.
Right.
There's a mix, but yeah, it's not Hispanic, I would say Asian. There's, moving in, I think there's some
I
mix.
think that's the thing about the census, is
Yeah.
because I was looking at the data the other day and I'm like, this is not. this
Yeah.
isn't recent.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard, I think it's a little bit old now, it seems like dated, for what we're
For
what-
hearing,
yeah.
I
hearing
think-
from you guys, yeah.
well, and this is like 10 years ago, the high school had like 90-something different languages
Wow.
that students were speaking at home.
Wow.
That's great.
So I mean, people really come from
All over.
all over.
Okay.
I mean, I think if we just thought about who our neighbors are, we would have a list of
Yeah.
20,
Yes.
30 countries.
My kid's friends from Parkview, it's like United Nations.
United Colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, all over,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's us, it's like, and Spanish speaking would be an added bonus,
Yeah.
but that doesn't seem like that's gonna be something you guys need to,
But I do think any
Yeah, any-
second
right,
language
right, right, right.
capabilities are
yeah.
a bonus.
I think that's the problem, not the problem, I think that's one of the challenges is that there's so many different languages here, like as long as
Yeah.
they're
Can't
open
pick one.
and embrace diversity and all that stuff, I
Yeah.
don't care if they speak
I think
Spanish or.
Makes it
They're
hard for
doing-
the book collection though, when you have to cover all the.
Yeah.
You don't need French.
Yeah.
People think, oh, I'm conversant, it's French.
Dead language,
I
care,
think-
Latin, dead language.
Yeah, we need some Latin.
Urdu and Polish are two big languages
I'm
that
just
I've
looking at
heard.
Niles West website, 65 home languages, the most common being Urdu, Spanish, Assyrian, and Arabic. So they're right down the street, so.
It's gonna be quite-
Yeah, we have a large
It's gonna be
Assyrian
quite the job description.
community.
Yeah.
Large Assyrian community as well. And so I think not just beyond appreciating but celebrating the cultures, also understanding how the current impact on immigrants, and making sure we do whatever we can to continue to be a welcoming space for the immigrant families, because we do have a lot of immigrant and first generation families.
And I would say that should be that should be a given. I don't think so, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I can't imagine a candidate for library executive director that wouldn't kind of tick these boxes, but
That wouldn't.
it's still worth
Pretty
stating.
standard for
Yeah, you should-
librarians,
right,
but
well,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, and it's worthwhile to put it in there so they know that that's values that the board
Yep.
Yeah.
is looking for
Sure,
too,
sure,
so.
sure, yeah.
Because remember, they're gonna be interviewing and they're, vetting you guys as much as you're gonna be.
Have you ever seen any, like, there was a time when, like, I worked at the Blue Island Library, I grew up in Blue Island and stuff, but like, there was a time when Latin families wouldn't come to the library because they did, like, well, you're government and that kind of thing. And then we got over that hump a long time ago. And but anyway, my question is, do you ever feel like people aren't coming to the library because you're government, or do they know that libraries are different than
I think we have a reputation, and it's a positive reputation.
good?
I
So
don't
we
think
don't
anybody.
don't have to worry about that kind of.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so, I agree.
Good, okay. I mean, it seemed like that from all the conversations, but I just didn't know if you heard anything on the street kind of thing.
And obviously some fiscal
Oh, yeah.
responsibility and a track record.
Nice throwaway line, and budgets.
Yeah, yeah.
Pam does an amazing job with the budget every year.
She does a killer
Yeah,
job with
she's-
that.
That's one thing I will miss.
Some people are,
I mean, I think really, like, you guys have seen, I mean, even with all these languages, it's like we could have stacks for everything, but we just have,
Yeah.
because we are limited in physical space.
right, where you can put them on.
And
Yeah.
Pam is really good about maximizing efficiency, so
Mm-hmm.
that's something for this person, I mean, whether it's financial, whether it's physical, whether it's from the staff. We are a smaller library, but as she likes to say, we pack a punch.
Yeah.
Well, even with us as a board and as being the newest board member, I feel incredibly, like I could go to her with any questions that I may have. She's very approachable, accessible.
You guys are leading right into the next question, keep
Yeah,
going.
so
Yeah.
I mean, I think thinking about how we'd interact with this next person, I would very much appreciate that kind of same relationship and dynamic, where, I can send her a silly text and know that if I have a weird question, or she sends me like, hey, I need you to do this training like ASAP, and those kinds of things. It's very, very comfortable, and I appreciate that.
Nice. Yeah, so the next question was, what were the things you liked of how Pam ran the library? So, open, sharing relationship between the director and the board, the financial responsibilities and financial efficiencies that she shows. Anything else that you really like about how Pam ran things?
I think the way she runs the staff, I think it seems like she has a really good relationship with everybody.
Even the way she runs the board and she's like, with the open meetings, everything that she has to keep track of, all
Yeah,
the new
yeah.
guidelines and stuff, she always seems to be finger on the pulse,
Yeah.
she always seems to know,
She's so
Yeah.
organized.
yes,
Yeah.
and that's.
I mean, she must have timetables for her
Yes.
timetables.
I know.
I
So-
mean,
For her
she-
lists?
where she just knows what's coming for, whether it's government updates
Yeah.
vis-a-vis
Yeah.
libraries, whether it's physically
Grants.
what has to be
Yeah.
done in the building, she's just got everything ready. And, I don't
That's
know how
awesome
she,
for you guys, yeah.
Yeah.
oh, it makes it so
Makes
easy.
your life so much easier when everything's
And
planned out.
sorry. I'll just add to that, and she breaks it down to a level of where it's really easy for us to understand, and we can get to what she needs from us, we can answer her, and vice versa.
So you don't have 3-hour board
Yeah,
meetings?
I know.
Yeah, really efficient. She also seems really well connected professionally,
Oh, yeah.
with her
Yeah.
finger on the pulse of what's
Very true.
happening.
Nationally, locally,
Yeah,
statewide.
yeah, which is really important. And I know Illinois is a good state for people who care about libraries and the rights of the reader and all that, but,
That's usually part of our spiel. is
yeah, she seems to
Illinois is good.
know what's going on.
Can I ask a random question that just kind of made me think about? Are there, maybe requirement isn't the right word, for the executive director to be also involved in village level government or boards and those kinds of things? And is that something that we might look for, somebody that has that experience?
It's something that we, highly encourage, like, because Morton Grove is such a tight-knit community,
Yeah.
that we do encourage that kind of, Pam has, regular meetings with the village administrator, keeping abreast of what's going on, village-wise, if there's, village community events, she usually tries to make sure that there's Morton Grove library presence there. So that's something that we can absolutely articulate, that we
Yeah.
want to continue,
Yeah.
because,
Yeah.
when we have like, our small little community events, a library is a high point, so that should be something that we should.
It's in the job description. Represent the library and the board of,
Yep.
in activities, community organizations, and local media.
Yeah.
Meet with public officials and community representatives to discuss community developments and coordinate efforts. So
Yes.
that's it. You don't want to be too specific because you want to give them the leeway to pick
Yep.
the organizations that are the best. Is it the Chamber? Is it the Lions? Is it whatever? And I'd be surprised if there wasn't a monthly or quarterly breakfast of superintendent,
That's right.
library director, city
Yeah.
manager, park
Yeah.
folks
Yep,
that
yeah.
everybody gets to complain about whoever's elected.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good question, yeah.
Nice, all right. So anything you would want to see different than the way Pam ran things, anything you would like to see the next person do differently or a different approach?
Yeah, she's sitting in the other room.
Yeah. So
Here's the hose.
you can whisper
Probably
if you
sticking
want.
out underneath.
She's gonna watch back here.
Yeah, she's watching it now,
This is
yeah.
going on the YouTube or whatever.
I mean, we're newer, so
Yeah.
I feel like she's been great and, to learn from.
Yep.
I have only been on board with Pam as the director, so I don't have a ton of experience with other people, but I would think since she has so much experience, maybe somebody that, not less experience, but somebody that
Still growing into it.
yes, and has maybe some different ideas, or how can you define
Yeah.
what that
That's-
is, but you know what I
that's-
mean?
I
Like,
think that's the only thing I was gonna say
sometimes
too.
what you
It's-
don't know is good.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing I was gonna say, it's not like anything, I wanna see anything different, but what I am bittersweet excited for is to see what the new take, the new
Yeah.
ideas for.
Yeah, and so along those lines, it's something that we sometimes pointed out, like, do you want someone that's been a director already for 5 or 7 years? Are you open to, someone that's, upper management at a big library and they're making the next step, that kind of thing? It sounds like you're kind of open to that person that's, on that
Either,
upward path.
I mean, I don't know this for a fact, but I have a hunch there may be 1 or 2 people possibly here that may be ready for the next step, and I think that would be something we would definitely be open for. That could be some really.
There's pros and cons
Sure,
Mhm.
sure.
to all of that. First time director, they're coming in and they're gonna learn the Morton Grove way, and they're going to influence that, but if you have someone who has 5 to 7 years experience, they're gonna go, well, this is how I've done it, and
Yeah.
that's also good, that's gonna be different, but
Yeah.
they need to be
Gotta weigh that out.
sensitive about not imposing things too soon.
And this will be why the conversation to decide will be so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the job, we don't need to say you've already had to have been a director. You
Yeah.
get comfortable with somebody that's been a manager or, okay.
Yeah, I don't want to speak for everybody. Personally, when it comes down to the final 4 or 6, I wouldn't mind a mix of new and seasoned.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
probably will play out, probably, but
Right,
yeah.
I mean, if it
but
doesn't,
as long as you guys are
that's not
open
what you
to
get
it,
in
yeah,
the
because otherwise
applications then.
we could be kind of ruling people out, like, oh, you haven't done it before, but you guys sound like you're
Yeah.
comfortable with that, okay.
I also wanna add something about, I don't know what this is exactly, I just wanna give you some background about, like, before all of you were on the board, and maybe when some of you came on the board, there was a split, there were some people who got elected who were very concerned about cutting budget and cutting
This
programs.
place was nuts, yeah, I remember.
Okay, so just, I
Alex, you're
just.
being recorded.
I didn't.
Those people are still around.
I'm not gonna say that. I will say, I came to a meeting, this was probably like 20 years ago at this point, and while the board was in closed session, we had to call the police because there was almost violence. We came very close to violence.
So were you on the board
We-
before?
No, I was
Rebecca,
not
or
on
you
the
were
board
just-
at that time.
Okay.
But, even though we're all, I think, pretty well aligned and aligned with the staff, we can't guarantee that that
Yeah.
will
Always
be
be
the
the
case.
case, right.
I didn't know it was that bad.
I didn't-
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know, it's, yeah, my gosh, I can't even.
Hey,
And-
you're locked
and it
in
was
now, you
actually
can't go
like
anywhere.
a guy who almost punched an old woman, like, he got this close.
What?
And, like, it was,
I don't know.
I don't even remember
Was
what
it
the
people,
specifics
people on the
were.
board?
Oh, no, no, this was not the board. This
Oh.
was while we were waiting.
I thought it was the board too.
No,
Yeah,
no, it
yeah,
wasn't
that's
the
what I
board.
was thinking.
No,
That story
it
went way
was,
too
it
far.
was the people who came to the meeting.
Oh, like
it
public
was-
comment.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
Oh,
I
no,
thought it was
oh my
the-
Yeah,
gosh.
that's
I
what
was,
I
I was
No,
like, I was trying to think of some of the seasoned board members
Right?
around
Yeah,
the board
that's-
when I joined. I'm like, who was it?
No,
So-
that-
Howard.
that-
And I don't.
This is how gossip gets started.
Right, oh my
I
God,
saw it at night,
absolutely
so I
not the
didn't,
board.
you know.
Yeah,
It's not.
Niles,
Okay, I
Margaret,
It was very
yeah.
contentious,
Yeah,
so I
and-
wasn't,
Well,
it's not
but, you know,
unimaginable.
Lincolnwood, yeah, Niles have both
Lincolnwood had their
different
moment.
kinds of.
But as you
Yeah.
said though, it does, you know, a few changes here or there, or somebody
Right.
starts coming, yeah, so
Right.
it can happen like that, so.
Yeah.
It's not to say that you're not gonna ever have those issues. Alright, what kind of opportunities do you see going forward, whether it's, specifically with the library or with the city, grander, like, what
Yeah,
kind of
as
things
it's
are coming?
changing and getting younger and more diverse, is that presenting an opportunity, or is there maybe opportunities with the forest preserve that's not being, can you, library service to the deer, I don't know.
No, I
They
think
do
somebody
have
that brings
programs.
ideas,
Yeah.
like programmatic ideas,
Yeah.
and has some experience either overseeing or developing, probably both actually,
Yeah.
developing and overseeing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that's willing to find those opportunities, because I'm pretty sure, like, I don't know what Forest
Yeah.
Preserve is doing tomorrow, but it's, she should, or he should, the
Yeah.
person should.
I think an opportunity and / challenge could be, we have a pretty steady patronship, you wanna say, of our younger, like, programs, our youth programs, our senior citizen programs. And we always, and this is probably somewhat universal too, but, so an opportunity / challenge could be, how do we get more of those teen, young adults kind of, and this is
And
probably like a universal thing.
it is.
You don't really want them.
But I think that's that's
Yeah.
the future, right? So if we don't get them now, it's unless.
I mean,
that.
but I also think people end up coming back to the
Yeah.
library
Yeah.
too, so I,
Yeah, you-
I think our generations are very different
Yeah.
these
It is
days.
so-
And that's why
For
For me,
innovation.
I disappeared, and like, once I had kids, I came back from
Yeah, no,
And
so-
that's
so
exactly, we
that's-
lose them when they go away to college,
Yeah.
they come back when they
That's
have
exactly
kids.
what
Unless you have a
That's-
super awesome teen librarian who does super awesome teen programs, you get them for a little while, but it's get older
Yeah.
and then you lose
Yeah.
them, and they go to college, and then they start their family, and then they come back. But having great services all along that way gets them to come back later on, so.
yeah.
So I think one of the challenges is making sure we're always getting people in the building. As people are relying more on digital services, how do we get them to keep showing up so that we're justifying all the money we're spending on this building that is, has a lot of Band-Aids on it?
And then going back to the building, I mean, I guess it depends on what lens you use, that could be considered a headache challenge or potentially an opportunity. There's always gonna be an area that could use some love. And so so that'll be interesting, that like, if someone's gonna get exasperated right away with, oh God, there's so many projects, I mean, I would imagine that this is.
We probably won't talk to them. If they do what they said they were gonna do.
Oh, and we'll share with them the facilities plan, that's one of the things that we
Yeah.
ask
Yeah,
them, and so to help them prepare, and they'll be asking questions, but I think they'll be excited about, just to know that there's a plan that you're aware of, and knowing that, over the next 3 to 5 years, these are the systems that need to be worked on, so you don't have to convince you about setting aside money, or you're open to having the conversation of how you're going to fund HVAC repair,
Yeah, right,
or
right.
bathroom repair, or first floor adult service renovation, or this thing.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
well, and that's
And a
part of
secret.
libraries too, is
And a
that,
secret.
you're always evolving,
There's a
so your
secret
plan has to
right
keep
there.
evolving.
Yeah.
You have to keep staying
Yes.
relevant, you have to keep, adaptive, we're not just physical books, and it's,
Yeah.
so
that's.
Yeah, you gotta have online presence.
But that's also a really good opportunity though, because as you're doing those things,
Mhm.
where can you fit in a makerspace? Or where would a mobile van hotspot that you can tour around the forest preserve be, or something like, or bike, book
We
Book
have
bike.
we have a
We
book
have a
bike.
book
Oh, yeah.
It's adorable.
Oh, nice.
It's really
Nice.
cute, they take it to the pool.
So they like rock, paper, scissors to see who loses and gets has to take it out. It's like,
Book bikes are
I-
awesome.
I'm up on
Yeah.
bike duty.
So Morton Grove does not have a lot of third spaces, and so the library is really
Yeah.
important.
That was the,
in
that was a
regard.
question
Yeah.
I meant to ask earlier. Yeah, do you guys have other things? I mean, it sounds like you don't, but are there other places like this where people can just go and be?
Well,
Look,
of course.
usually there's only a couple.
Community centers? I don't,
What is it?
the community centers, like the.
There is one?
I don't know,
Yeah.
it's not the house of worship, right, but like, the closest thing I can think of would be like the Parks and Rec Center, but I don't think people really hang out there.
Yeah, they don't.
You
Yeah,
come if you have a
They go for the
program
program
or an
and-
activity.
Or they go to the gym. Yeah, I don't
We
think
do
it's a
have
hangout
two
space.
cafes now, well, and a Starbucks, like, those are places you might hang
Okay.
out.
Yeah,
Or the
houses of
Forest
worship and
Preserve.
restaurants definitely exist,
Okay.
you know, but.
But like where you can go and not pay anything.
Yeah, right.
Right,
That's,
yeah.
that's
You could go
even the
to
park
Prairie
district
View.
usually gotta
Yeah.
pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, there's tables you
There's
can
our little
sit at.
slam on the park district.
Right?
I think
Yeah.
if you look at like the groups that book the auditorium for different meetings and practices
Yeah,
and
that's so
stuff,
cool. I like that.
that's really like, you see that's kind of that community center space.
Mhm, mhm.
I mean, there's like a Romanian choir that comes and practices
No,
once a
that's
month.
cool.
There's, you know, you never know
A
who's gonna be
Romanian
there.
choir, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
How far into the future are we looking for these opportunities or challenges?
How far do you wanna go?
The farther we go, the darker it looks.
Yeah?
Oh, well then let's,
Uh-oh, let's just stay close. We don't wanna get
Well, I don't know,
there.
the further it goes, the more it's like, well, then it seems like, to me, all the renovations seem like they happened yesterday. You know, I'm like, we've renovated every square inch of this place, well, but now,
Now
Let's do it again.
the first
Yeah.
floor renovation will eventually age out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's
Possibly
10 years
under the
old
term-
already, yeah.
Yeah, possibly under the term of this ED, so
Mhm.
I wanna say like Pam's renovated everything. They just gotta come in and maintain, but eventually, and then then there will be the question of, do we renovate or do we build? And maybe if there's a newer set of people in this town that are more pro a new library, it might be
Where would you
something.
wanna build, just on this space, or is there
I-
another
that's, I have
location?
no
or-
clue. It's pretty
Yeah.
tight here, I mean, the
There's no
Yeah.
parking.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
old, but the
What
old
was it,
village
Saint
hall
Ma-
is going.
Saint
We
Matilda?
rent,
Martha.
we rent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's space.
We are
And there was
spaces.
potential that was, they were gonna go belly up, but they merged with somebody else.
Yeah.
Same exact jokes, yeah. Don't, and my kids have to go through confirmation first.
You're stressing her out, don't talk about
Okay,
it.
so yeah.
So right.
Don't talk about it.
Um,
Yeah.
Well, so talk
I
about
mean-
more challenges, let's go kinda down that path, like we heard about the parking.
wait,
You know,
Ileana was gonna say something.
Oh, sorry,
earlier.
go, yeah.
I don't, it could be an opportunity and or possibly a challenge, but just thinking about what other things people use the library for, myself included.
Mhm.
I love that I don't have to go to the DMV and do my vehicle
Oh.
registration. Oh my goodness, like they have saved my behind so many times.
Mhm.
So I'm very grateful for that. It's like a one-stop shop for me. I live right down the street. It's super easy. So if you know other people come with experiences that have been successful that look like different things that we don't have here,
Mhm.
what they might be able to contribute. I think that's an opportunity. But then maybe on the flip side, just kind of always being able to be open to assessing what we currently have in place and if things need to kind of be reevaluated. If it's not working or we need to kind of pivot and go a different way.
Yeah, it's interesting the things that libraries have taken on, like with the passports and
Yeah.
the license plates and a variety of other things that libraries have taken on.
I think it goes back to someone's comment about just like bringing people into the building, so that's what made me think of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the staff was mentioning they were talking with the city about selling some of the city stickers, like vehicle stickers and whatever, but the
Mhm.
city's moving online, and so they don't know if they can or want to do that. They're gonna go all online, then just, pull the Band-Aid off and that, so. But those are the conversations that,
It's a great idea.
Pam's maybe having with the various, leaders, and so you have those discussions, and yeah, if the city don't wanna do it, that's fine, at least you've had that conversation, you put the bug in their ear. So if something happens, or, you know, maybe they're saying, you know, they're doing like, oh, and then maybe, you know, maybe you can sell postage stamps, I know some libraries do that too, you don't wanna get too many in the middle of
No, yeah,
diving
we're not a
stuff,
convenience
but,
store.
yeah.
I like the city.
I'm gonna spend that.
I would
Yeah.
love that, because
Yeah.
village hall hours are not great.
The
Well,
hours
no,
not great,
that's
and they're
what-
not friendly, and everybody's friendly.
Typically, Village Hall has terrible hours. I'm like,
Yeah.
really, Village Hall? Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're about, Village Hall.
All village
We will
halls.
give you just a moment, but here's the big question. What one thing do you want the incoming director to know about the library or the community? So give that a little thought, because then we're gonna kind of go around and make you say something, but, is there like the one thing that you just wanna kind of get across to us, as we proceed in the search, or, so, I'll be quiet, one thing.
And we'll call on people.
So one thing to know about the village or the library?
Either or, like, is one thing about the library, do you want them to know like one thing about the library, or is it one thing you would like them to just know about the community? It could be one or the other, or both.
Make like a headline for the job ads.
Yeah,
Now
Yeah.
now it's pressure.
yeah, I mean, and sometimes it's like, hey, we have this
Now it's gotta go to-
half
Well,
marathon
innovative
that
spirit,
we're
I will say
sponsoring,
that, I
we
think
want the
Mike had
library to be
that, I
part
like
of it.
innovative spirit.
Could be that specific, or it could just be a feeling.
Joanne, why don't you start us off?
Oh, so mean. I don't know. I would say homey is the feeling that I think about the library, and partly is because I grew up in this library as a kid and I did all the classes with the craft lady, and I just love it so much, but like I can still smell walking down the stairs that have asbestos that are probably hopefully gone now, since we're renovating right there, and they creaked, and like, yeah,
That
just
was
like,
some old
it's
use.
a feeling.
No, I know.
Yes,
You know what I
talking about.
mean.
Yeah. It was probably like that old dollhouse that was wooden that, you know,
Yeah.
I can smell that well.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Mohammed?
Can I build on that, actually? 'Cause
Oh,
that's-
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's where, are you done?
I'm done, that's all I
I think to be very conscious of the history and the people that are coming back, because like, my wife also brought us back to Warren Grove because she grew up here. And the reason isn't because things are so different, it's because things are very much the same. So I think that's something to consider
Yeah, I
in
like
terms
that,
of,
yeah.
you know, preserving Morton Grove as Morton Grove.
And I think a lot of, we don't have a lot, but we do so much with what we do. It's like, you know, there's flashy, like Glenview's so flashy, like when I go over to Glenview, but it's like, I'd rather come here. Like, I said I
You
look
go
at it, I
there?
look at it, I was on the way to Trader Joe's. So, but
Joe,
it's-
Joe Donut,
I
not
know,
Trader
Joe
Joe's, it's Joe Donut, that's why
Oh
it's
my
worth
gosh.
visiting.
But it feels like we just, you know, might not have a lot, but it's homey, we do a lot with what we have. We always seem to have.
That's good, I like that. Right, Mohammed?
Sorry, I didn't mean to-
Oh, that's
No.
okay, you gave me more time, not that I did, not that I did much with it, can I pass and?
Nope. We all sit and stare, yeah.
Yeah. Make you sweat.
The words that keep coming through my head right now are, it's gonna sound boring, but
Boring's good.
no,
Is
like,
it
like,
boring?
like firm, but.
I mean, it's not as nostalgic as the doughy dollhouse smell.
No, how can I go after that, right? Firm but flexible, I feel like really sums up how Pam was. She wasn't some pushover, fluffy leader,
Yeah,
but you know, she's firm, and she's organized and diligent, but flexible as far as the way she managed both staff and the facility, and really just, you know, utilized every inch of this place
yeah.
and every bit of the staff. So someone who can be both of those things at the same time.
The staff really, the managers really hammered on flexibility a lot, so that was a term that came up a lot too.
We can be too flexible now.
That's what
That's
she's
the, yeah.
Diana?
I'm gonna go with the first thing that popped in my head, which was the word hub. and I know I talked about that a little bit, but I am new to the village, so I think my experience is a little bit different. And immediately, I've always loved libraries, so when I came to the library to renew my vehicle sticker
Yeah.
and found out that it was like not in the system, and Jeff took the time to literally call Springfield for me. I
Oh.
just felt,
Your car wasn't in the system?
yeah, because it was leased and then I purchased it, and when I went to the DMV, they didn't do something correctly. He
Okay.
essentially saved me a trip to the
Yeah.
DMV.
Which is a
and
winner.
I have never had service like that before anywhere, and like he didn't have to do that at all. He could have been like, "Sorry, can't help you," like, and I would have been like, "Cool," like.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going
Um,
with
Not the
the
system.
All right.
So I think I'm in between. I wrote down hub staff and to piggyback off of your word homie, I think that there's a special bubble that we're in maybe here, and I
Yeah.
find it, I can drastically see the difference when I go back into Chicago to visit family and stuff, and I'm just like, I miss my bubble.
It's like Brigadoon.
No.
I say that about my life, so yeah. Good. Kim?
I think, this might not sound as appealing for a headline, but, somebody who can stretch a dollar, because we do a lot of that
Sounds
here.
correct.
It's like-
That's a headline.
I don't know, is it the job you want to apply for? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they better apply to buckets of resources.
Sounds like
Huge
work.
budget.
Right.
No, that's absolutely true.
I think that's-
But yeah, I think creative didn't encapsulate that fully, but yeah, somebody who can really, have that flexibility to think about how we can continue to offer great programs and support great staff and the building, on the budget.
Yeah.
And it's not a terrible budget either, let's not.
No,
No.
it's really good, yeah, really good.
But, we have raised the levy the last 2 years, so.
As well you should. Every year you should capture all the money that you're entitled to. Increase your levy 5%, let the county roll you back. You're entitled to that money and you need that money, so that's my soapbox. I teach budgets, so.
Yeah.
All right, Emily.
So my little notes were, so what I want the library to represent for all is a safe, welcoming place. And I wrote down the word preserve because I feel like that's something that's really special for libraries for me, like passing down that love of the library is something that I'm really proud of for my own kids, and you can see that generational kind of love of books that we're that place that we can provide that. And so and with the staff feels safe and nurtured and supported, and that's the way hopefully our patrons feel as well too.
Great.
Not to end it on a
No.
gooey note, but
No, it was a good
I
thing.
think we're consistent, obviously.
yeah.
And on that note, I'll change it out of the GUI right away. You guys don't employ security monitors or anything like that? No, you don't have anyone with that title here, right?
No.
And so far you haven't really had a need to either?
Thankfully, no.
Good, okay, good. Just checking, because we hadn't heard that before, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask. Anything else that you guys want us to be aware of, to know? Anything else we should be thinking about as we work with you to get the ball rolling? And you can always follow up with emails or phone calls and give us a buzz if you want to.
Mohammed,
Okay.
you're on the verge of.
I guess, everybody seems, I'm sure everybody applies and when you meet them, they're gonna seem really enthusiastic, and I don't know how you could gauge or measure who's more enthusiastic, but,
Yeah,
I mean,
I can
somebody
tell
who's
you a couple
really
ways right
excited.
away that you can find out they're not that, no. I'm just kidding.
Have you heard of AI by chance?
The two of us sometimes see stuff and we're like, really? That's what you're turning in? No, but
Somebody
anyway,
who's
you
really,
can
who's
sometimes.
really excited about the job and the community.
Yeah, okay.
I think hearing about the story of people's failures is so much more insightful than hearing about their successes sometimes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's something that we try and focus. We look at applications, they're applying at multiple places, but they're at least taking the time to make their application look like that this is the only job that they ever want.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's frustrating because like Jim was saying, we can tell. So among the 25 that we get, we will have a candidate that has applied to 2 other jobs that we've done, and it's the exact same cover letter. I believe I am ready for the next step up in my
Forgot to
career,
change the
and
name of the library.
yeah. But the ones that go, I want to work for Morton Grove because you guys are a growing community with diversity, and that excites me. And I want to do that. That makes and it's a similar sentence that's in most of them, but they're making it sound like that. That's what we look for that. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And I know some people have gone away, we haven't yet, and I don't think we have any plans to, but gone away from the cover letter, you know, they just wanna go off of the resume and the references and that kind of stuff, but, I mean, I know I do, when I look through I
Yeah.
wanna see that
I look at
they've
the cover letter more than
cause
the
we
resume.
actually like put in there a thoughtful cover letter, or, you know, we use some kind of verbiage like that, and people don't read that, cause they just put, here's what I've done for the last 5 years. I'm like, I don't care what you've done. All these people have done these things. We want to know why you want to come to here or
Yeah.
here. Like,
Especially because it's the library, you gotta tell a story.
yeah, right? Yeah. So I
and
mean,
the cover letter needs to answer the question, whatever that. Why do you want to come from Iowa to be here? Why do you want to come from Morton Grove from Lincolnwood or whatever, from another library? Again, why do you want to come from the south? Why do you whatever the big question is? Answer that.
One of the questions I'd like you to ask in your screening is for them to disclose if and how they used AI in preparing their application. Because I mean, there isn't really a wrong answer. If they said they didn't use AI at all, I might be like suspicious of that because I know a lot of job seekers who do rely on
Yeah.
AI. But that doesn't mean you've taken from AI
Yeah.
verbatim.
Even if you are, if it's your resume, I mean, maybe not your cover letter, but if it's your resume, it's a list of your accomplishments.
No, not for the resume, but I just,
That's a good
the one
question.
thing that
we haven't
concerns
really
me at
dug
this
into
point.
AI other than us keeping an eye out for it. We haven't
Yeah.
asked questions about it per se.
But-
We haven't really.
We've
asked-
actually had boards ask us how we use AI.
Yeah. Do you
I can
use it to
spell it?
screen?
That's about it.
Yeah. No, because we're not.
I appreciate
We're not that smart.
Like, how do you
No, I
screen
understand.
resumes using AI? It's like,
We don't.
can you?
know.
I don't know. It's only 25 of them. That's it.
So.
We're gonna save that
I
for
mean,
you
that was
guys. That's a
one of
good
the
question for you guys to ask.
Well, okay, one of the things that struck me when you said you hand out the questions ahead of time, 3 years ago I would have thought like, oh, that's great.
Good point.
And now I'm like, again, because I know it's very common in the job.
The only thing though, with the way that most of the questions, and I'm sure there's ways to work around it, because my wife's an English teacher and she's like, good lord, they're all AI, essays.
Yeah.
But the questions that we ask mostly are pretty specific to what you have done.
Yeah.
Yes, you can get away
Yeah.
with AI, but we work in libraries,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we know, if you tell us that you work at such as a library, like,
Yeah.
we probably know those people,
We've
so.
had
You
candidates.
can't get away with it.
I'm not saying the
Yeah.
wrong answer is
Right.
saying
If
you
anything,
used AI, it's
should
just
embrace
like.
it.
And it's
Right.
a
It's a-
tool,
it's- right.
and it's a tool that helps people write better in a lot of cases, or other things. And if used well, there's a lot of baggage with AI, but it's a useful tool that can do a lot of things. But
But it's
we had a candidate one time that
start having it.
it was right when we started sending out the interview questions, and she got the job. She is a library director in Northern Illinois. She had her answers written out and she was reading them in front of the board. And God bless. Again, if that's how you need to organize your thoughts
Yeah.
and doing that, and it threw them off because we have 7 questions. You ask question 1, you ask question 2, you ask, and they skipped it. So you ask question 4, and you ask question 3, and she's like. And she shuffled, she found, whatever, no card, and they talked about it. They go, was she reading her answers? They're like, yeah, she had the paper right there and she was reading it. And they're like, does that matter? I'm like, should it matter? And it didn't. So however they got, again, good answers, it helped her organize and keep everything
Right,
trained.
right.
I think the question is, what are you gonna do with AI?
Yeah.
Not have you used it or do you
Yeah, yeah,
use it
yeah,
and
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
write, I think
Yeah.
it's
How
what
are
is
you
your-
gonna use it
Yeah.
to positive end,
Yeah.
because
Right.
everyone's gonna eventually be using it in some
Yeah.
form or fashion.
Okay. Anything else?
I have 2 questions
Yep.
regarding the potential for internal candidates.
We're gonna come to that
okay,
right now,
yeah.
so
We're
this is
probably
our
gonna-
next
probably
step.
gonna-
So-
we're
Are
probably
they
gonna
both about
few.
internal candidates?
Yes.
Okay, good. So we want to know, how do you guys want to handle internal candidates? There's two options that we have come up with.
Okay.
One, do you want to guarantee that they have an opportunity to talk to you? So that means that they're gonna be one of the 4 to 6, and if that's the case, it's probably gonna be 6, people that you talk with. Or do you want us to treat them like any candidate? And the fact that they are a more
You weren't ready for that question.
doesn't
Yeah,
have
that's-
anything.
oh, boy.
Pros and cons on both, and I will say that, I give an interview to all of my internal candidates at the library. That's a fairly common practice. I wouldn't be surprised if Pam did that for anybody, like if you're hiring a CERC supervisor, the CERC clerks, whatever, can get a chance to do that. It's good professional development.
Yeah.
Even if they're not, if you know they're not going to be qualified, give them that experience, then you can kind of feedback and coach them, hey, this is how you do that. And it's good professional courtesy. The drawbacks, it's a limited number of slots. It's 4 to 6, 'cause again, 2 nights. You're already starting at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., 6 p.m., we're going, you know, it's a long night, and it will be 6, so they will be taking up a spot that might go towards another candidate. You think that there might be 1 or 2 people, there might be 3 or 4 people,
Okay,
and this is
that's
a
what-
blanket
Yeah.
thing, so I don't think that's ever happened. We've not had 6 internal candidates taking up all the spots. That's not happened, but theoretically it could. And I think if that were to happen, then we'd come back and we'd go,
Yeah.
you know,
We have
let's,
another-
Yeah,
let's know.
We'd have another conversation.
Oh,
And,
wait.
but we also have had situations where beloved but wholly unqualified internal candidates get way too close to making, to progressing into the search, where we've kind of had to stand up to the board and go, you know, they're great, but that's not. So that's, you need to be prepared.
So could we lean on you guys to kind of?
We do not.
I'm assuming you would talk to them first anyway.
We're gonna talk to all of them.
We will
Yeah,
talk to them,
yeah.
but if you
Yeah.
guys wanna do, and again, there's
If you
nothing
want to talk to
wrong
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
with doing, even if it's 2 people, you know, that's perfectly fine. We would want you guys, no, we're not gonna say, hey, you need to change your mind. That's why we have this conversation now, so we can say what your first blush is before you know who it is or who it's not, and maybe you won't have anybody, and this discussion goes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, I don't know this for a fact, I think it's possible.
So,
I think,
I mean, realistically.
so, okay.
I think we.
Do not
My-
say any names, I'm just
No,
saying.
no, I'm
that
not saying
right
any
now.
names, my, okay, this is tough, but okay.
We don't
my-
have to make a decision on this now.
My initial gut kind of is leaning towards, let's.
And that's perfectly reasonable, that is
But,
good.
you know, I mean, it's hard because I know that we, you know, I'm using
What
your
was the yes
expertise.
answer?
Yes, that like, yes to the internal candidates getting a couple,
Pushing through?
2
No,
slots
no,
or
no,
something
just
like that.
being able to interview.
Yes,
Being able to interview
getting,
with us.
I
yes,
guess
4 to
that is
6
pushing
interview.
it.
correct, yeah, that's kind of where I think I'm leaning.
Okay.
Honestly, if you look at the organizational structure of the library, there's, again, without saying names, there's really only 3 people internally that could even be viable.
Right.
Because I don't think we would take somebody who's had 0 management experience of any level and let them jump.
But they could still try.
Well, of course they could, but it would,
That's a
for
great
them to
point.
jump
It'd
2
be so
levels
mu-
to
yeah,
the
that's a
executive
good
director.
It wouldn't be
So
a
we're
good-
really,
right.
again, without mentioning names, only looking at the adult services,
You wanna
youth
interview
services,
everybody, I know you
or,
love it.
I know, I get that. Adult services, youth services,
wants a
and
bigger
circulation
crowd.
are
He wants
really
to hire
potentials,
everyone.
right?
It's
So we're
20,
looking at
something.
max 3. So I don't think there would be 4 or 6.
And I don't think that'd be just.
Yeah, I think we'd be
just the
looking
size
more
of
like
your
2. I'd be surprised if it was 3, but you know the temperature better than I do.
And maybe, again, maybe 0, like
Yeah.
Right.
to,
But-
you know.
And I will just caution that says that you might think that that's the criteria. That's not the criteria that the people have as they're thinking, because we have had people
They
who
try, right?
have,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
tried to jump, you know, from whatever to whatever, so, again, that's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
If
fine.
it did come back to a big number, we'd be like, okay, we'll
It
come
is
back.
not-
Absolutely.
We'll come
Yeah.
back to you.
Yeah.
It's not a bad decision to do that, and it's not going to wholly wreck. I mean, and I think if you say, yes, you wanna talk to everybody, and heaven forbid, we got, you know, overwhelming amount of internal candidates, then we'd come back and we'd revisit to you guys, but I think, you know, if it's a marching or like if there's, I don't know, if there's 2 people, might not be the 2 that you're expecting. That's fine.
Somebody might have an academic background that doesn't match
Their
the
position.
level of
Fair
their
enough.
position.
The problem is I'm deep into the football season right now, and so it's like, in my mind, you can't be a head coach unless you're an offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
You don't come in as receivers coach and apply to be head coach.
I'm with you.
You know, so it's just not,
You found your guy.
you're not gonna do that. So,
And would they go through the phone screening process as well? Like they'd go
Yeah,
through the
regardless,
entire
we would
process?
talk to them,
Okay,
just
okay.
because
So then you
we
would
need to
kind of
familiarize ourselves.
vet, if there were potentially 6, 8, I don't know, whatever people, you would vet them for us first and
Yeah.
probably just alert us like,
Yeah,
hey,
if there was
we talked
an
to-
overwhelming number, which has never
Okay.
happened, I don't think
Yeah.
we've ever had.
It's never happened yet.
I think we've had 2. I don't think we've ever had more than 2 internal
Okay.
candidates. And, you know, if more than that happened, we would probably bring, especially if there were 3 internal candidates and maybe 5 outstanding external candidates, then we would kind of go back, it's like, hey, let's look, and we wouldn't say, hey, take these 2 internal,
Yeah,
and whatever,
no,
we would
no.
say, let's, and we'd work with Emily and just go, we're gonna take it up and we're just gonna treat everybody the same. But I think if, you know, we're happy to give 1 or 2 internal candidates an extra nudge above a 5th or 6th choice. Is that okay?
Is everyone feeling comfortable with that? Yeah.
so as these guys alluded to, I do want to interview everybody. So my advice, just as me, not as the board,
There's gonna be a schedule.
if you're really stuck, err on the side of including people.
Yeah, well, we do,
Okay,
and so
but
when
then
we,
you're gonna wanna hire them all too.
Within
We're only
reason.
gonna be able to
Oh,
hire
wait,
one.
wait,
That final day, you only get 2, you're not bringing
Yeah.
3
The
or
budget
4 or
allows
5.
for 1 executive director, I'm aware, so we can't hire them all.
you know, so you are not alone in that. We have, and we're faced with this decision. We cast as wide a net on the phone interviews as
yeah.
we can, because we don't want to make, we want to make as little subjective choice in the process as possible. We just want to, and so we will talk to, if they have the base qualifications, we'll talk to 15, 18 people on the phone.
It's quite the long.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
and, you know, and there's gonna be a bunch, because we're posting on Indeed, so there's gonna be a bunch of wacko applicants that are just wholly not qualified, and those are the easy ones to eliminate. We will talk to the basic ones, and we will narrow it down to 4 to, and it's always 6, because we're soft touches too. It's
Yeah.
like, look,
Pretty much always 6.
yeah, and so, yeah, but you have to narrow that list down to 2. And you're gonna wanna go, can't we bring back 3? So I just wanna talk to them one more, and we will not let you do that.
Thank you.
Because the reason is, there's only one, right? And we'll have this conversation again. Ultimately, you're only choosing 1. So we make hard decisions, so you don't have to make as many hard decisions.
Right.
And when you're narrowing the 6 down to 2, you're eliminating 4 people, and that's gonna be a hard decision, because picking 1 from 2 is gonna be very hard. Picking 1 from 3 is even more hard, and so we don't let you do that. It also throws off the Saturday morning, afternoon thing, and especially if it's Valentine's Day. So, I understand, and again, that is not we've had people, board members fight for a 3rd person, right, and we're like, nope.
Nope, you're not doing it.
And that's what you hire us for, is
Yeah.
to be this,
Thank you.
be the stern person. So, okay, so internal candidates, you guys wanna talk to them, that's perfectly fine. We looked at your job description, it is wonderful, it is perfectly good. You know, it's 3 pages long, next time you look at it, shoot it down, try and narrow it down to 2, front and back. There's just not enough stuff for us to nitpick enough and to narrow things out. It's all good. You know, it's not the 7-page job description we had from another library that we did work with them on. But, you know, just like anything, 2 pages is much better than 3 pages, because that's an extra thing that people have to print out.
Has this already been written, or?
Oh yeah, it was
You already
approved
have
in
it. This is your
2020.
job description.
And it's
Yeah.
currently 3
Not
pages.
the ad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2024.
Job
3,
description.
it's a solid 3 pages. If it was like 2.5, we would have wordsmithed it down, but it's,
We approved this a little while.
June of 24.
24,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
I think we really tried to make it as concise as possible,
It was
so.
set
Oh, you
up.
failed on that. It's a
Before.
good job description, it is not concise.
I'll take a stab at it.
You don't
Well,
have to,
mine.
you don't have to.
When the
change
new
it if
person
you want
gets
to.
hired and
No,
you're
no,
talking
I-
about doing a general job description review, it's fine. It's perfectly good. We share this with the candidates, obviously, and so that's why we always take a look at it. And sometimes we make some tweaks like, hey, this should be here, but no, overall it's good. Yeah, it could be, maybe some points can be consolidated and
Yeah,
whatnot. but
mostly we're just looking for, there's no
Yeah,
wild stuff.
so that was good. Process memo, we sent you a process memo that kind of has all the dates. It's a little bit more in-depth, like an FAQ of the search process. And it kind of goes into the most common questions that we've gotten from boards about how things go and whatnot. If you have other questions about it, feel free to reach out to us and we're happy to do it. But that's a good guide to see how things are going. The main thing up top, again, are the dates on here. And the last thing we have to discuss is the salary range that we're offering in the thing, not the salary range low to high during their entire career. You guys have a salary scale that's looks like it's been approved by HR Source, because that's what their salary scales look like across the board, and Pam's salary is up there. What we're talking about is what we put in a job at. What's the $2,000 to $3,000 range from here to here, because we have to put a range in by statute. And then down the road after the final interviews, we'll have another discussion as to what's the maximum amount you're willing to offer the successful candidate. So, but that's down the road. So right now we're just saying, what do you want candidates to see in the job ad as a salary? Some context. Pam's making about $137,000. She said she's about to make $140,000 for her for her before she leaves. On her salary scale, and again, you guys know what a salary scale is? Anybody not know what a salary scale is?
We did get,
Gives it
Kim and Ileana, did you guys get this copy? So HR Source did this salary
Yeah.
scale. If you guys didn't get a copy, then we can make
Yeah,
sure.
I don't think
It evaluated staff's salaries to see where they fall in the midpoint range and so.
What's this?
I think we
thing
have that,
about
yeah, we
this?
have this, yeah.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
just
yeah,
had-
yeah.
So when we did
Yeah.
Pam-
I did show you, okay.
Yeah.
So it shows you the very minimum,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
maybe it's
Yeah.
110 or whatever,
So-
and it shows you the maximum, that might be 170.
Yeah,
Yeah, so for the executive director, the minimum salary, the lowest point you'd hire, the lowest common person you'd hire is 110. The midpoint range is 136. And then the most you would pay any director is 164,000. And the reason you have a maximum is you could have the best director in the world, you just can't afford to pay them more than 160. And that's for every person in here. You could have the best janitor in the world. There's no janitor that deserves to make 100 and whatever thousand. So that's why there's upper limits on here.
Are you asking for the job description posting specifically, like?
Yeah, that's what we're discussing right
Yeah.
now. Yeah.
So in the
Yeah.
job
So we're-
ad,
we're-
we're gonna say, do you want us to post this at 125 up to 130? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We just need something to put in the job ad so that the applying,
Yeah.
and the state of Illinois recently changed that you have to put like a range that you're gonna hire in, not the whole range that you have on the HR source thing, but the range that you're looking to hire at. So
Yeah,
that's
so-
what the piece we're looking for.
So right now, we're very verbosely trying to give you some context as to what
Yeah.
Pam makes versus what some of the other folks do, so we can make an informed decision on that. So the problem that I have with HR Source's pay grades is that they have a minimum, a midpoint, and a maximum, and they want you to hire at the minimum. At the midpoint.
oh.
And the problem with that is it kind of throws away half your salary range. And so I fought with them when they did ours, and I had them put a hiring range about halfway in between minimum and maximum. So I took the privilege of doing that for you guys. So midway, 12.5% between the low and the high point is 123,000. Okay, so that's a reasonable offering point. Folks that are nearby you, the Park Ridge director is making 136,000. They're in your ballpark, and that's again ballpark about what Pam's making. I think
but-
Jenna Pertucci's been there a few years less than Pam, experience-wise.
Ballpark in terms of, I mean, salary, but like size and.
So I think they're not too. These two are geography. I think Park Ridge isn't too far away from you for
No, it's not
budget
too far, but I think
size.
it's a
I think
bigger.
bigger tax base.
Yeah, I don't have that spreadsheet open anymore. I'm not sure what their what their budget. And then Glenview is 168, and again, they're, yeah, I know, that's an aspirational thing.
Sometimes it
what we can
doesn't,
afford.
sometimes,
That should be
sometimes it
nice.
doesn't really help, because you get a tiny little
Right,
library
yeah.
with a huge budget, like, so it doesn't always work
Yeah.
to be.
Library that's close to you guys and within a reasonable geography proximity, Prospect Heights, woohoo. I make $144,000. I've been in the job for 13 years now, so you can use that. So again, comparable to what Pam's
What's
making.
the population of Prospect Heights?
15,000, but our budget's right around 4 million, same as yours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah. Population size, there's 3 reasonable analogs. We have Eisenhower. Stacy's making 146,000. She's been there 11 years. And that's probably the closest as far as being like a city suburb and whatnot. Antioch, Jennifer, our current librarian, past librarian of the year, 120,000. She's been there for 8 years. In Westmont, 11 years, 120,000. So that's just to give you a sense of what you're making. You don't need to be an outlier on either side. So you don't want to offer.
And you already know you can afford 140, because that's what you're gonna pay your current director. So I mean, yeah, I would say,
Yeah.
posting at 123 or 5.
Yeah, I'd say like, if you say 125 to 128.
So I was gonna say, what if we did like 125 to 120, 130 or something
Yeah.
like that?
I like 125 to 130.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Gives you 5,000 to play with.
Yeah. And that's fine. You're gonna get 6 figures is gonna attract a lot of good candidates. You're already gonna attract a lot of good candidates. We're getting a lot of people. I've been approached by so when's Pumpkin Grove gonna get posted? And they're exciting. I'm excited for them. And so I think that works. When the final candidate has been selected, we will have another conversation to help Emily with the negotiations. What is the maximum that you're going to be allowed to offer? And, spoiler alert, you want to lose the salary negotiations.
Yeah.
You want to go, we can offer you this, and they go, that's great, I want this, and you say, okay, done.
So there's
They're
not a lot
happy,
of-
everything's done. You don't want to go back and try and save $500 or
We'll give
whatever.
you an extra week of vacation. Like, no, just pay them what you need
Yeah.
to pay them, and let's go on.
Well, in that case, should we stick with like the 128 if, and it sounds like we're gonna go up to the highest, there's a chance, if we're hiring an experienced director, that we would go up to the highest end of that range.
You probably wouldn't go much higher
Okay.
than that, like 130 mark. Like, if we post at 125 to 30, you might tell.
You're gonna
Emily-
start at
you-
125.
You can tell Emily, you can go up to
Yeah.
132, and that's it. That's the cutoff. Otherwise, you say, I got to go back to my full board to get approval, and they're like, nope, we're good.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Yeah.
Because before this law went into effect last January, we put one number, and so it would have been 125. And yeah, we would have said, good to offer up to 130, 132, and that's usually the range that we give. We talk about salary with the
All of
candidates
our
early
secrets
and
are not
often.
going to be out
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Right?
The second question we ask during the phone interviews is, the salary posted in the job ad is blank. While there's some room for negotiations, this is library world. You're not gonna be able to, break the bank on this. Is that okay with you? Well, yes. Well, you'd be surprised how many people don't say yes. We talk to them as we're walking them out the door. Are you still interested in this job? Yes. What's your salary expectation? This is what the salary range is,
Better be
making
this.
sure that's okay. And so they know going in, and if we've had candidates who go, well, once they get to know me, they'll pay me my true worth. Like, well, you need to find a library who can pay you your full worth and apply there, 'cause that ain't here.
We've had even people, the job is posted and it has a number on there, and we have the phone interview with them, and they tell us that they want something else, and we're like, well, we can just stop this phone conversation
Yeah.
now, because
And we save time,
That's,
yeah.
you don't wanna waste.
it's already been posted. Why are you telling us you need a different number? Like, this is crazy.
Yeah. All right, that's what we had to do. Any
you all.
questions for us?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you're asked, are there internal candidates in this process, do you tell non-internal candidates yes? You don't?
We don't talk about, yeah, you're talking about other candidates and they wanna know.
Yeah,
that?
so
We
like
don't-
I applied, I'm like, you
No,
know,
yeah.
I'm curious, are there internal
No,
candidates?
we just
Okay.
say, oh, yeah, we've got lots of candidates, you know,
Okay.
we
Your
never
pool is
really get
diverse
into
and blah,
that.
blah, blah. Okay, awesome. Next question is two-part question regarding budget. If we get candidates out of state, do we have budget to bring them in for travel and
That's a
that
great
kind of stuff?
question. Do you have anything like that already built into your practices? Typically you don't, because
Okay.
It would come out of a professional
Typically-
education or staff development budget. So that's another reason why we do Zoom, because you can do that.
Yeah.
If you do have out of state, or even a long distance
Mhm.
travel, or someone coming up from
Southern
Illinois or whatever, we would expect you to, if they're flying in, you pay for their flight in a hotel and Uber to and from. One night, in and out, for them to come in. You don't expect them to fly in, interview, and fly out the same day. That's a little much. But yeah, you expect them to do that. We also, if you do hire an out-of-state candidate, we have a discussion about moving expenses. You're not expected to pay
Yeah, there's no mandate.
everything, but it's more of a stipend, $2,500, $1,500, $3,000, something like that, just to help defray. Moving is like 10 grand, 12 grand these days, and so no, that's not gonna be something, but it's just something to, again, to help welcome them and give them a little bit of a start. Ooh, did I, that was, right?
Yeah, most libraries don't have that already built in. It's a conversation we would have as we get farther down the road, like, hey, we've got this great person coming, and you guys would be like, hey, we have this great person coming from outside of this range. Let's offer them, you know, a few bucks to come or spend the night or whatever. Yeah.
I think one of you mentioned Iowa, so I was like,
Yeah, I mean, depending on where libraries are, sometimes we, you know, we'll post specifically to Indiana or Wisconsin or Iowa or, you know.
Yeah, we'll probably do Wisconsin here.
Yeah.
Indiana's strange, and so we're
Indiana's
probably not.
got kind of.
But we do a national search. We'll post ILA, Rails, Heartland, which are the three state
It's all
boards.
virtual and online, so
Yeah.
it's not like anybody can see all of it.
We'll post in Wisconsin. The American Library Association has a package where we can, where for a fee, they're posting on their ALA job line, their Black Caucus job line, their Reforma job line, all the other job boards that
Like
they have
18 of them.
on there that we get credit for. And we post on Indeed, and we were joking with the management team because everybody rolls their eyes, and it's a number pattern. It's like we got 25. 6 of those are from Indeed, and they were just hitting the button, whatever. But we usually get 1 or 2 that are MLS candidates, and so we're like, hey, go to our website and send us the real application, because Indeed only lets you submit a resume. And if they do, so we usually, it's worthwhile to keep doing that. But
It gets
in
it
a
out.
national search, people want to be here in Illinois. That's always been the case. We've always had out-of-state applicants because, especially in the northwest suburbs or northern suburbs, we are, we're well-funded, we're well-used, we're well-supported. And that's always been the case. But now, in cover letters, we're getting, I want to come to a state where I can raise my daughter where she has control over her body. That's a quote from a cover letter. I want to work in a library where they're passing laws to protect
one of the
libraries,
states
not put
passing laws,
librarians
yeah.
in staff. That's a quote from a cover letter that we've gotten. So people want to be here. So you get to benefit from that, from having that surfeit of riches in candidates.
2 more questions, sorry. Are we posting this on our website and then it'll
Yes.
have your contact information? Like, is that
Yeah,
how?
we send you
everything's
the
fed to
whole,
you?
we'll send you guys the job ads, usually, job openings, and then at the bottom is contact Alex, and for
Okay.
further information, here's the thing, but yeah, it's gonna be
Okay.
on your
Yeah, it's
website.
also linked.
And hopefully your social media's on our
Yeah, and I was
social
gonna ask that
medias.
too, about
Yeah,
social
yeah.
media, how you leverage social media.
Yeah, you guys will typically, like,
call
you,
it leverage. We post it
background
on
checks, all that kind of stuff, we just kind of follow what
Yeah,
the
yeah.
library does, we try to keep personnel the same way you do it for all your personnel, and so it's not us doing something different than what you guys do as a library, so. But yeah, typically your library will put it to their social media, they'll have something for jobs on their website, so whatever you have, tools for in-house, we'll use those as well.
Any other questions?
Thank you all.
Thank you guys.
Thank you all.
for
It's been a pleasure getting to know you a
Sorry,
little
now
bit.
you, now you gotta have a regular meeting.
I know, we're. appreciate your expertise,
Thank
thanks for
you so
coming out.
much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Drive safe, it's getting icy.
Oh, Lordy.
Great.
Oh, Lordy.
Ooh, are you in Julian? Like you, that's where you're commuting to?
I gotta go to Oak Lawn, so
Oh.
not as far, but it's still pretty far.
Pretty far.
I'm in Uptown, so that's not, this is like halfway for me, so.
Not too bad. You can shoot down.
Yeah, it'll be quiet for a little while, but
Enjoy the show.
again on the back.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, don't get up, I'll just come in.
I'll just do a group
Yeah.
wave.
It's fun too.
Thank you for
So
coming.
nice meeting you, thank you so much, you guys
Thanks, thanks,
really-
appreciate it.
We'll see you in
Good to meet
February.
We'll see you,
Yeah.
we'll see you
Yeah,
down the
happy
road.
holidays.
Yeah, there'll be others.
Yes, and holler, phone, email,
So I need to make the motion to.
phone call if anything comes up, you guys have questions about.
Thank you. Drive
Oh.
safe.
I mean, can.
Bad
can-
news,
what the-
I already asked Pam to clarify something earlier before the meeting.
Oh, right.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, so the next thing is we'll hand the job and the draft, and we'll send that for you and for them to wordsmith a little bit and we'll have it ready for posting. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Even in the deposit.
There's one this signing.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. They're great, we're, I think we're
Did you already grab the check?
I got it.
Oh.
Yeah.
glad we have their expertise in this process, definitely, so. Yeah. Okay, so, we didn't go into this, let me just get this. All right, so we are over to consent agenda. Is there anything that anyone would like to pull out for discussion?
Yeah, I had a question about the minutes,
All right, so,
but
then why don't we, do just the minutes?
just 2 minutes.
Okay, so why don't we pull off the minutes, then we can approve, the consent agenda, which will just, be the financial reports for November 2025 and director vacation requests. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thanks. Thank you. And then we'll go, back to minutes.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on those two first?
Yeah.
Agenda.
Okay, Gonzalez?
I'm sorry, yes.
We're voting, yeah. Hussein?
Yes.
Jost?
Yes.
Mason?
Yes.
Moldowski? Yes. Pelletier, yes. Flores?
Yes.
Okay, so, with minutes, what I'm gonna do is make a motion to approve them, then we can discuss, so we kind of open up the motion. So I'll make a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for November 13th, 2025.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Kim.
Under the part about staff reports, the third paragraph where we were talking about meeting rooms versus study rooms, I was unclear in reading the minutes. It says Director Leffler informed her that those second floor rooms were actually study rooms and not meeting rooms, and therefore did not fall into the same category as being open to the public. But I wasn't clear if, I sort of felt like there should be more context there about what that meant, what the implications of that were.
So,
But
In the policy or in the minutes?
in the minutes, like just going back and understanding what that meant, and if you feel like, no, that's not what the minutes are for, I feel like the minutes should help people who weren't at the meeting understand what happened at the meeting, and I just felt like some clarity would be useful there.
what are you feeling like is missing?
What the meaning of that is, that study rooms are not meeting rooms and therefore, so those are considered
private? We don't, there's a lot of legal ambiguity around those still.
Okay.
So there there has not been a determination or an opinion from any attorneys that I have heard, in all of our various things about this, that have given us a definitive answer.
Okay,
There's
so,
been lots of speculation that they're not quite the same as meeting rooms because people reserve them, that kind of thing, you know, whereas like our meeting rooms, if you use them, the policy says these are open to the public, and so you have to let the public in. So
Yeah.
in that way, those are considered public. So the study rooms, there's been no opinion given that says, yes, they're definitively private, or yes, they're definitively
Okay,
public.
so the vagueness
The
is-
ambiguity is kind of just
Okay.
part and parcel of the,
Okay.
which is, and I think, you may not have seen it, I
I
did
did-
respond, and then it's
Yeah.
just that
Yeah.
two things, that the minutes should be a reflection of what actually, the action that took place. So
Okay.
even if, there has been some opinions about not adding commentary to
Okay,
minutes after
okay.
the fact, because it's not truly what they're for.
Okay.
And I was feeling like the ambiguity, while it's ambiguous, that's the situation, and I
Okay.
think that's,
Thank
I
you for
felt
clarifying.
fairly comfortable with
Yeah,
that,
okay,
so.
sorry to get
Yeah,
back to that.
like I said, there's just has not been any definitive
Okay.
opinion about are they public, are they private, there's been this it's a gray area.
I'm ready to vote then.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we'll voice vote for this one. Everybody in favor of voting for, or approving the minutes for November 13th, 2025, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay, next up, President's Report. So I wanna offer an official welcome to Tim, our new facilities manager. Luckily, the snow has, gotten here just in time for him to, you know.
Came in on
Oh my
Sunday,
goodness.
shoveled.
He's not here.
I was like,
I just
where
wanted
you
to-
welcoming over
I
here?
know, he was-
You know, I mean,
For the record.
out there,
Got it,
for the
got it.
record.
Is this going in the minutes? Okay.
Okay, and something I do think it would probably be good to get on our calendars, since we just talked to Alex and, Jim, I'm really tired, I almost forgot Jim's name. Okay, sorry, everybody. Okay, so, week of January 26th, we have been advised to pick 2 evenings. So week of January 26th is a Monday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
I'm out of town Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so. for
Okay,
me,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, people, how does it look for everyone?
I'm clear.
Okay,
Tuesday, Wednesday would be better for me, but I can work Monday.
okay,
Yeah,
same, what does everyone think?
Same.
I'm also gonna, what is everyone's thoughts about starting 6:30? I just know us and I know we're gonna wanna talk, cause this is when we're gonna take those 4 or 6 candidates and narrow it down. So
So
this
6?
is gonna be some,
Can we do 6? Is everybody able to do 6?
I can do
So
something.
you're talking about which day?
so, are we,
Either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, the 26th, 27th, or 28th, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyone have, conflicts on any of those days?
Mhm.
Wednesday is a little bit trickier for me, but if
Okay.
that's the only day that works, then I can make it work.
Okay,
So I prefer Monday, Tuesday.
okay. Is that workable?
Monday's hard for me, but I can make it work. I have.
Can everyone do Tuesday the 27th
Yes.
Yes.
at 6 P.M.?
Let's start
So
there.
you're advised to pick 2 nights.
Oh, to
Yeah.
So we're definitely doing the Tuesday.
Is this an internal conversation, or is this an interview with the candidate?
These are Zoom interviews
here.
with
Got
the
it.
candidates, yeah. So, these are like, they'll be 45 minutes each. So, let's say, let's say we have 6 candidates, we'll be 3 one night and 3 another. So that's why they're advising us to break it up between 2 nights. So, I mean, and we could do like 6:30, I don't know, just start.
Sounded like everybody
No,
would do 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 is fine. 6 is really good.
Yeah.
Okay, do we wanna go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? Okay,
I'll make it work.
I don't think I'd get home from work until 5:36 on Monday, but I could probably 6:30 make Monday.
okay, so what is,
Just-
what do you think, 6:30 Monday the 26th and 6 PM the 27th?
That's fine.
Yeah,
That works for me.
okay, so,
And you're doing Zoom interviews?
yes.
Yeah, and we're hoping for a larger screen that we can watch that.
Yeah, that's gonna be awkward.
Is that?
Your head spinning. I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
Worst case scenario, I could,
we could probably rig up a projector also.
Yeah, we're.
Or are we ever
okay.
gonna meet together in one room to do it, or would we be doing it from home if it's Zoom?
We
No,
can't
no,
do it
no,
from
we have
home.
to be,
It's a
have to be
meeting.
here.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah.
But do we have to be in the
We
same
have to-
room?
You do have to be in the same room
Yes.
now, because the only reason we could do
Yes.
Zoom the way that we did it before is because there was an emergency proclamation. So with the current OMA law, there's no emergency proclamation, so there has to be a physical quorum present at the physical meeting
So
space.
we will all be
in
here,
order-
Alex and Jim will be here with us, and then the candidates will be on Zoom.
Do we say 6 on Tuesday or 6:30? Oh, no, 6 on Tuesday.
6 on Tuesday, 6:30 Monday. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we,
okay, can we bring, like, snacks to share if we want?
I'm not
We're
gonna
not
tell
recording
you
our
no,
meeting,
I
right?
mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Don't
if you
I like where your
need,
mind
you
is
need
at.
sustenance, you certainly can.
This is considered a meeting, you will go into executive session, so, these are all considered, every time there's more than two of you in this, a room, it's
Sure.
considered a meeting and you talk about any library business, so, yeah. So it is a meeting, but, I mean, I would assume you guys can bring snacks. Okay.
Okay.
Quick question for clarity, for the Tuesday, after we conclude interviews on Tuesday, I cannot remember if that was when he said we would be meeting to discuss narrowing.
Yep.
Also, okay,
No, so that night,
that same night,
so
yeah.
that's,
Tuesday night.
that is going to be what we're instructed to do.
So we're gonna order pizza.
Narrow it down. We're gonna need to, yeah, so that's why I'm thinking starting earlier would be
Yeah.
better, so
Yeah,
that we
sure.
have
Yeah.
that time to chat and really kind of,
Yeah.
cause I'm sure we're gonna have some good candidates, and it's gonna be a hard decision, so, yeah. And they're only gonna let us bring two, so.
And so it's between 14th and 21st, right?
So, yeah, so then the final interviews will be, they're saying kind of save the date, February 14th,
I'm not
possibly the 21st.
sorry, it's competition season, I'm not here on
Yeah.
the weekend.
So, but just, I mean, is it?
I'm here the 21st though.
Mhm.
I'm definitely voting for 21st,
And I will
just
take off of work
'cause
that day.
it is Valentine's Day.
Celebrate all day long.
That's so sweet that it matters to you.
All day?
All day, right? Yeah.
I mean-
It's a little.
Wow, okay.
I'm sorry.
We will, you know,
That's very sweet.
I mean,
I think if you have already decided that you can only meet on the 21st, that you tell him that.
I mean, if there's two people that,
But it sounds like there's several board members that can't be here on that 14th.
on the 14th.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's already a
Dinner just
thing,
big
I
right
would
next
say
to
you
it.
need to let them know sooner rather than later if you already know that.
That's why I asked him if they told the candidates ahead of time that we
So that they
are
can-
potentially holding these dates for interviews, so that
Mhm.
they can let them know from the onset, like, that's not gonna work for me, or can plan
Yeah.
for it.
Well, then as long as we're discussing it, does anyone have conflicts on the 21st?
Nope.
Right, I will email them about that.
Sorry, guys.
No, competition is competition.
And Valentine's Day only comes once a year.
You're doing St. Valentine's work, and I for one appreciate it.
I'm taking my daughter on a surprise trip that weekend. My husband is taking my son to the competition.
So, that's
She
so
doesn't
nice.
watch the
All
I'm
right.
like Olivia, coach the bit.
Don't tell her.
Okay, so, I got that down, so committee reports, finance we covered. Facilities, no real report, but we can discuss, bathroom update. No update for policy, so we're at staff reports. Is there anything that you wanted to highlight or add?
No, not really. I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about the setup that you will need and what, I have to figure that out. Tim has started, obviously, it's been great. He was not able to come in on Saturday, but he was here on Sunday and helped out with some snow removal already, so, that's been useful. He's jumped right in and he has a lot of connections that he had already made in various trades and stuff from when he was at Skokie in particular, so, has already had to reach out to some tradespeople that he had
already had a relationship with, like had their phone number in his phone still and different things like that. So, I think that it should work out really well, at least so far. It's only been a few days, but we're really excited to have him on board. He's, like I said, just jumped right in since we started, so.
That's a big blow ups too, so.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think that was really wonderful. Unless anyone has any questions.
Any questions for Pam?
Oh, I saw it in, I don't know where I saw it, something the library put out about the giving campaign. Is there anything happening with that?
We are getting some donations, not a ton, which we didn't anticipate we would get a ton of them. I don't know how much we've received yet. I know we've gotten a few directly through Square, like people can log on, and then we also gave people the option to donate through the Illinois Library Association for like organizations that can only donate to a 501c3. So they funnel those. We have gotten a couple of donations through them. They actually gather them for a while and they cut us a check. And so I haven't received that check yet. I did get notification that we got those, but they didn't tell me the amounts.
Great.
I know we're a governmental body, not a 501c3, but would it be meaningful if everyone on the board considered making some donation, however small, so that you can later say you had 100% board participation, or is that like more of a nonprofit?
If you want, it doesn't,
Okay.
it's not required, and we don't typically put out into the public about donation information unless, you know, someone wants to put a book plate in a book and for that reason or whatever. So, you know, obviously if the board wants to donate, you can. You don't have to, so. But thank you for thinking of us. So, I mean, this was the first time we did it. We do anticipate, I mean, the plan was to continue to do this, to have this be an annual giving kind of thing. And, you know, hopefully over time, people's situations may change or whatever. I think I mentioned a couple months ago, I was speaking to someone who sounds like he may want to leave us something substantial, but he was working with his financial planner and was going to contact me in the spring. So either it will be me that he contacts or the next person, the next director, so we'll see. Like I said, it's just a start and we'll see where it goes, and every little bit helps, I figure, so. Seeing as tax bills were due, but we have yet to see a cent of any money, as we just wrote a big $36,000 check to SMC. So we better get some money in soon. Yeah, we have not seen any money yet. Leighton checked today. I was actually talking to Alex about this before the rest of you got here, and they were talking about the tax monies, and he hasn't seen any either across their tax, so, yeah. So we were speculating, we were trying to figure out why they are holding on to it and not sending us our money, but, hopefully soon.
Okay.
Because we did, we also, Alex said he had heard, I have not yet heard this, that they anticipate that there may be a slight delay in the tax bills for spring.
Oh, gosh.
Which, yeah,
Okay.
so they're saying only about a month or so, which at this point
we
feels
don't believe anything they say.
fine, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, like I said, everyone, as I think I said to the board at the last meeting, I had several people that say, I've never been so excited to get my tax bill in my life. You know, everyone, because I'm saying we're not getting any money, and, you know, if we run out of money, things, we'll have to, you know, decide how we're gonna approach that, but, yeah, so the tax bills went out, people presumably are paying them, but the county is not distributing any funds to us.
Always something.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, right? That's all you can do.
Yes,
Okay.
we live in hope.
Yeah. All right, new business, we have no new business. Communications were none.
The whole board, just to Kim.
Just a minute. We've got holiday
We didn't even get to
card.
read it.
I can't wait
This is
till
good.
next month.
Yeah, really, what's gonna happen next one? Public comments, non-agenda items, it's still just us, so adjournment, so it's 8:49.